learned that first finger that first night, put on that red tape, and the cellos had to learn about their third finger going to which tape? Any of you? Third finger to the white tape, and your fourth finger goes to the blue tape, and violins and violas, second finger, our middle finger goes to the white, and your third finger goes to the blue. So they're only using 3 fingers. Cellos have 4 that they have to use right now. Their second finger is a what? What's your second finger? Second finger goes with your third finger because it's a helper. Yep, they're best buddies. They go together. Third finger's down, second is also, and if third is up, so is second. So they're going to play the D scale for you. D and A strings using all their fingers, and here we go. 4. 1, 2, ready, and... that time was 4 times each. We just started 2. We're going to show you something else in the scale in a little while. But the reason 4 times each in the beginning is to give them 4 chances to get that finger right in the right spot. When they're playing the scale, they have no music to look at. They have nothing to worry about except for their posture. So they should be looking at their hand, making sure their hands are tall, elbows up, and checking their finger placement. This is how they first start learning how to play in tune. And if they're really checking their fingers and listening carefully, when they start looking at the book and reading the music, it gives them a better chance to recognize just by ear if their finger is in the incorrect place. So that's another place where you can help at home if you're ever watching them practice. If you see the fingers aren't going the right spot, giving little reminders. Because again, it's a lot of skills at once. Now they will play Twinkle Twinkle Pizzicato. What is pizzicato? Fluffy. And then hold it. 1, 2, ready. Started working with their bow. Probably one of the parts you were least looking forward to. Hopefully were pleasantly surprised by holding off and learning the left hand first. Hopefully it made it a more pleasurable experience at home to the ear. I'm sure there's still some times where it's a little tough and they're working on getting those clear sounds. They're doing a really great job. First they had to learn their bow parts. They had to learn how to tighten and loosen it. They do something called the pencil test at home to make sure they're not opening the bow too tight. And by that, they just take the eraser end of a pencil. After they tighten it, they check to make sure between the stick and the bow hair, just the pencil's width at the end of it can go through. If it's bigger than that, it's too tight, and that can end up damaging the bow. So that's something that we're still working on. They should still check every once in a while. Most of them are getting really good at it, where they don't even need the pencil anymore. After they could do that, we started learning the bow hold, which is really tricky. On the website, I don't know how many of you have been to the school website, but if you go under staff and go under my name, one of the documents on there are pictures of bow holds, the left hand for cello, left hand for violin and viola. The pictures on there have it at the frog, at the end of their bow. They started with an early bow hold. Some of them are slowly moving down to the end. That's the goal, is to get to the end of the bow. But by holding it, doing an early bow hold, they're holding it at the balance point of the bow. Maddie, actually, if you can come on up here for a second, please. She's going to demonstrate bow posture. But holding at the balance point makes it easier to learn the bow posture and to hold it. Could you, yep, early bow hold for me, please. Yeah, just put that card. Good. So right about here, and you can see the bow is nice and evenly balanced. That's why they call it the balance point. And it's easier to keep the thumb bent. Can you just turn sideways so you can see that thumb? We want the knuckle popped out. Thank you. And instead of the other way, and then the pinky on top. Maddie has actually already gone down to the frog, so you want to show that posture too. Same position with the hand, it's harder to hold there because now we've got this whole part of the bow to balance with the hand without letting that thumb bend the opposite direction. So if they're struggling with bow posture, the best thing to do is go on the website, print out those pictures, and they have something right in front of them. It shows incorrect as well as the correct posture. That way you can guide them at home as well. Katie, hi, come on up. The cello posture is almost the same. We still have the thumb bent. Their middle finger goes across the street. Little tips we give them. First and third goes next door, and the pinky of the violin viola goes on top, but on the cello it goes over the bow. Just at the first knuckle, the pinky goes over, and that is the early bow hold. And then same thing, it'll happen. Some of them are at the finger grip now, some of them are all the way at the frog. So.